Welcome to Talkin' Tale, the cozy place to enjoy English stories, learn simple words, and relax while getting better at listening. Let's begin today's tale. Nepal Unfolded, a journey through its past and the latest conflict. Part 1, Origins and Geography. Episode 1. Nepal sits high in the Himalaya mountains between India and China. It has dramatic landscapes, from low river plains to icy peaks. Mount Everest, the world's highest, lies on its northern edge. The land shapes daily life, travel, and the economy. Nepal's geography is a mix of beauty and difficult access. Episode 2. People first formed many small kingdoms in the mountain valleys. These kingdoms had different languages, customs, and rulers. Mountain passes connected communities across steep terrain. Trade routes linked Nepal with Tibet and the Indian plains. This patchwork helped make Nepal culturally rich and diverse. Episode 3. A key moment was the unification of the valley kingdoms. Prithvi Narayan Shah, a king of Gorkha, led this effort in the 1700s. He consolidated many small states into a single Kingdom of Nepal. That new state lasted, with changes, until modern times. Unification gave Nepal a shared political identity. Episode 4. The Himalaya give Nepal a special climate and ecology. There are subtropical forests in the south and alpine zones up high. Many rare plants and animals live here, like red pandas and snow leopards. Rivers from Himalayan glaciers feed big plains downstream. That water supports farming, hydropower, and life across the region. Episode 5. Nepal's location made it a crossroads of cultures. Hinduism and Buddhism grew together here for centuries. Temples, monasteries, and festivals reflect that mix. Artists, craftsmen, and pilgrims traveled through the valleys. The result is a colorful cultural landscape people still celebrate. Part 2. People, Language, and Culture. Episode 6. Nepal is home to many ethnic groups and languages. Nepali is the national language, but many other tongues are spoken. Groups such as the Gurung, Tamang, Newar, Taru, and Sherpa live here. Each group has its own music, dress, and festivals. That diversity makes Nepal socially vibrant and complex. Episode 7. The Gurkhas are famous soldiers from Nepal. British and Indian armies recruited Gurkha regiments for long years. They are admired for bravery, loyalty, and discipline. Gurkha history is part of Nepal's global reputation. Many families still have ties to the Gurkha tradition. Episode 8. Two major festivals are Dashain and Tihar. Dashain celebrates family, blessings, and victory of good over evil. Tihar honors lights, animals, and close relationships. Both festivals bring people home with feasts and rituals. They show how family and religion shape social life. Episode 9. Kathmandu Valley is a cultural heartland. Old cities like Kathmandu, Patan, and Bhaktapur have fine art and temples. Wood carving, stone sculpture, and metalwork are traditional crafts. Street life mixes temple bells, markets, and music. For visitors, the valley is a dense dose of culture. Episode 10. The Sherpa people live high in the Himalaya and guide climbers. They developed special skills for high-altitude life and mountaineering. Sherpas played a key role in many Everest expeditions. Their culture blends Tibetan Buddhism and mountain traditions. Respect for Sherpa knowledge is central to Himalayan travel. Part 3. Politics and Modern History. Episode 11. For 2 centuries, Nepal was ruled by a monarchy under the Shah dynasty. The royal family shaped politics, land, and local power. The king and elites often controlled government decisions. That system lasted until the early 2000s. Many Nepalis later pushed for a more democratic system. Episode 12. From 1996 to 2006, Nepal experienced a Maoist insurgency, a civil war. The conflict caused heavy loss of life and social pain. It pushed many people to demand political change and justice. A peace agreement in 2006 opened the door to political reform. The war's effects still shape Nepali society today. Episode 13. After the Civil War, politics moved toward a republic. In 2008, Nepal formally ended the monarchy and became a republic. New parties competed in elections and wrote a new constitution. Change brought hope, but also new political struggles. Building stable institutions proved difficult and slow. Episode 14. Nepal adopted a new constitution in 2015 with federal structures. That document reshaped provinces and local powers. The process was contested and caused debate in some areas. Constitutional writing tried to balance ethnic, regional, and political demands. Constitutional work is still a living process in Nepal. Episode 15. Natural disasters have had large effects on Nepal's development. The 2015 Gorkha earthquake killed many people and damaged much infrastructure. Rebuilding took years and international help. The quake showed how fragile mountain communities can be. Disaster preparedness remains an urgent challenge. Part 4. Economy and Daily Life. Episode 16. Nepal's economy relies on farming, tourism, and remittances. Many families work in agriculture on small plots of land. Millions of Nepalis also work abroad and send money home. Tourism, trekking, and pilgrimage brings vital income. This mix makes the economy resilient, but also vulnerable. Episode 17. Trekking, mountaineering, and pilgrimage attract visitors worldwide. Routes to Everest, Annapurna, and Lungtong are famous. Trekking supports local lodges, guides, and porters. Tourism also creates environmental and cultural pressures. Sustainable travel is a growing conversation in Nepal. Episode 18. Hydropower is a major economic opportunity for Nepal. Fast mountain rivers can generate electricity for export. Large projects promise income, but they need big investment and care. Local communities and nature must be part of planning. If done well, hydropower can help national development. Episode 19. Remittances from migrant workers are a lifeline for many families. People go abroad for construction, hospitality, or domestic work. That money pays for homes, education, and healthcare back home. But heavy reliance on migration has social costs and vulnerabilities. Long-term development needs local jobs and investment. Episode 20. Urban growth is changing Nepali society fast. Cities like Kathmandu are crowded and expanding quickly. Traffic, pollution, and housing are common urban problems. At the same time, cities fuel new business and culture. Managing growth is a top policy challenge. Part 5. Nature, Climate, and Culture Today. Episode 21. Nepal's glaciers feed rivers, but are vulnerable to climate change. Glacial melt and changing weather affect water flows and farming. Small mountain communities are often first to feel the effects. Conservation and local adaptation matter for survival. Global warming is a very real local issue in Nepal. Episode 22. Nepal has rich biodiversity in small spaces. Protected areas host tigers, rhinos, and wild elephants. Community-based conservation helps protect wildlife and people. Ecotourism can support both nature and livelihoods. Balancing human needs and conservation is an ongoing task. Episode 23. Nepali art, music, and food are lively and varied. Dal bhat, rice and lentils, is a daily staple for many. Street festivals, folk songs, and classical dances mark life seasons. Crafts like weaving, pottery, and metalwork remain important. Culture is a source of pride and social cohesion. Episode 24. Education access has improved, but gaps remain. Rural schools often lack materials and trained teachers. Higher education growth in cities attract smart young people. Skill training linked to jobs is important for the future. Investing in human capital can lift many families. Episode 25. Health services improved, but mountains make access tough. Remote clinics and health workers are vital for rural areas. Telemedicine and mobile health initiatives are growing. Public health and maternal care remain long-term focuses. Strong health systems help build community resilience. Part 6. Modern Conflicts and Lessons. Episode 26. Seeds of Political Unrest. In recent years, Nepal has faced growing political tension. Different parties often fight for power rather than stability. This struggle has slowed progress and reforms. Ordinary people feel frustrated and uncertain about the future. It shows how fragile democracy can be when leaders fail to cooperate. Episode 27. The trigger of the recent conflict. The latest conflict was sparked by disputes over leadership. The Prime Minister and rival leaders argued about authority. Their disagreements created divisions in Parliament. This fight quickly spilled onto the streets. Citizens protested, demanding honesty and stability. Episode 28. Who was involved? The main players were the ruling coalition and opposition parties. Both sides accused each other of corruption and betrayal. Student groups and activists joined the protests. Many young people felt their voices were ignored. It became not just politics, but also a social movement. Episode 29. Where the events took place. Major protests erupted in Kathmandu, the capital city. Crowds gathered around Parliament and government offices. Clashes happened in busy streets and public squares. Police tried to control the situation with force. Tension spread to nearby towns as well. Episode 30. The escalation of violence. What started as peaceful protests turned violent. Stones were thrown and vehicles were burned. Security forces used tear gas and batons. Several people were injured in the chaos. The unrest shocked both locals and the international community. Episode 31. The human impact. Families worried about their safety. Shops and schools were forced to close. Daily workers lost income during the protests. Tourists canceled trips, hurting Nepal's economy. The conflict touched every layer of society. Episode 32. Government Response. The government called for calm and dialogue. However, critics said it was too slow. Emergency meetings were held with party leaders. Promises of reform were made to the people. But trust remained very low among citizens. Episode 33. The outcome of the conflict. Eventually, the protests lost energy. Some demands were met, but not fully. Parliament agreed to review corruption claims. Leaders promised to work toward unity. Still, many fear the cycle will repeat. Episode 34. Lessons learned. This conflict highlighted the need for stronger institutions. It showed how fragile trust between leaders and citizens is. People want accountability, not just speeches. Nepal must invest in education and jobs for youth. Without real change, unrest may return. Episode 35, A Hopeful Vision. Despite struggles, Nepal's people remain resilient. They have faced earthquakes, poverty, and political fights. Yet they still dream of a fairer future. The youth demand honesty and opportunity. Their hope is the key to Nepal's progress.